Hello. Nice to see you all. Let's close that down. Woo!
Hello, hello.
I hope you guys can hear the music.
Happy Father's Day for all the fathers and mother fathers in the house.
Happy Father's Day. Happy summer solstice.
Yes, happy summer solstice.
There's a lot going on tonight as we kick off Thrive in 5 Intuitive Clarity Workshop. This is our 13th workshop. So before we get started, we dance. And I'm going to watch the comments here so that I can say hi to y'all and see who's here with us. Hi, Nefertiti. So let us know in the comments. I'm going to make sure we're not, there we go. I can see Nefertiti. Make sure I turn my volume all the way down. There we go. Hi, Lori.
Hello,
hi,
hello.
Christine. Hi, Megan. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Beth. Hi, Angela. Nice to see y'all. Hi, Adriana. Hi, Alicia. We're looking here because we're live streaming and we can't see comments on the computer.
Yep.
But I can see them here. Nice to see you. Want to turn this up a bit?
Had to go way back.
Oh, no. Welcome to your Thrive at 5 experience. We're so joyful that you guys are here with us. And as you know, we like to dance. We like to have a good time. Get into the groove.
And for those of you looking for the name of the song, this one is Their Promoter by Kessa and the band, Trinidadian band again. You know, we like the Trini music.
Oh, we love the Trini music. Hi, Angela. Saying hi to a few more people. Hi, Felicity. Hi, Maja. Hi, Susan. Hi, Krista. Hi, Adriana. Hi, Gina. Hi, Carolina. Alexandra, Trinette, Denise, Angela. So great to see y'all. Happy Father's Day and happy summer solstice. Hi, Beth. Bring your hand, put your hands in the air and bring your vibe, it says. Hi, Jackie. I'm just going to set it here.
Thank you. I want to give a shout out to my peeps. Hi, Jen. Trinette. Hi. Hello. Hey, Damien. You're perfectly on time. You're not late.
Not late at all. We're
Right
just having
time.
a dance party.
Hello.
Gives everybody time to soothe and groove on in. Hi, Kimberly. So great to have you guys here. One more minute. We're going to get it started. Grab your workbook. Give it a little boogie. Celebrating the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. For those of you in Australia or in the southern hemisphere, this is probably your winter solstice.
Longest day of the year, right? Daylight.
We'll make sure we turn up the volume next tomorrow.
Yeah. We get you the blast.
It's a little low, eh? Yeah? No?
It is.
Oh, so great to see you all. We're watching the comments here. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Rob.
Hi, Laurie.
Hello, family, for sure.
Hi, Rob. Hello, hello.
It is a wonderful way to celebrate the solstice, right?
Yes, it is. And happy Father's Day to all the fathers in the house once again. And the mother fathers, because we know some play both roles, right?
So great.
Oh, yes.
You want to turn your Wi-Fi off on there?
Certainly.
And then we'll try to keep a very strong signal for y'all. Welcome to your Thrive in 5
hello,
experience.
Hello and welcome.
If you see us looking down, it's only because we are watching the comments down here as we keep the signal really strong here. And welcome to everybody. Thank you for joining us on this Father's Day. When we planned the original, like when we look at the dates, we're like, let's do it on the summer solstice. How fun to do an intuition workshop on the summer solstice, right? And then not realizing, dang, I thought Father's Day was last Sunday. So we celebrated last week and the week before. And so I thank you all for taking the time, for being here with us on Father's Day and this summer solstice. We're so grateful to have you here. Welcome, 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 welcome. You want to introduce yourself? Because we have a lot of new people in Light Ascension Collective.
Yes.
And so we're just going to introduce ourselves while you grab your notebook and grab some water and your favorite pen and settle in for a groovy, awesome, high vibration vibe for tonight.
Indeed. I'm King Gabriel. I'm a spiritual teacher and practitioner. And I love helping people to clear the obstacles in their life and live the unbelievable and wonderful lives that they kind of know that they can live, but they just haven't been living as yet, right? We make that possible, and I love doing that. I started meditating when I was 3 years old, walked through a spiritual path, just like everybody else. Everybody's on a spiritual journey, right? My spiritual journey led me to learning certain practices, certain instruments, I would say, that helps people to break through things that otherwise are challenging, right? So that's where it led. I worked at the Agape International Spiritual Center as a practitioner for quite a while and enjoyed that process of helping people. Shared the stage with people like Reverend Michael Beckwith, Diana Van Sant, and on the musical side, Stevie Wonder, Black Eyed Peas, and a few others, right? So I had some experiences that really allowed me to affect people in positive ways, and I love being able to bring forth that, right? It really brings joy to my life. So thanks for having me, and I hope that you enjoy. Oh, also, I'm a best-selling author now. That happened recently.
A couple months ago.
And a few other things in the works, but you'll find out more about me as we go.
We'll drip some stories this week for you guys, because there's so much to discover about us, and we want to discover about you too. So one of the things that we love, and then I'll introduce myself, we love when you guys play, and we love it when you engage. So we are watching your comments, and so we love hearing from you. We love getting to know you as well. So when we ask questions, we love that you participate and play and answer those questions with us, because it lets us get to know you, because we want this to be this type of experience, not just us. You know, we love to give and we love to teach, because that's what we love to do. That's partly what we've always done for a really long time. And we love getting to know you. We love knowing your journey as well. So please feel free, you know, use the hearts, use the likes, answer the questions that we put forth, so we get to know you guys. It really helps us create and co-create this awesome experience with you. So everybody's saying happy Father's Day to you, because we are
thank
parents.
You very much. I appreciate it greatly. Thank you very, very much. The little ones I have are beautiful.
They are. Right? We have 3 little ones.
I enjoy being called their father, definitely. It's a beautiful experience, and thank you so much. Thanks for that.
It's awesome. We have 3 little ones, twins, twin boys who are going to be 3 this coming August, and Arya who's 5. And so life is busy and wonderful and awesome, and always twists and turns and all sorts of stuff. You never know what's going to happen in a day, right? So my name is Tara Antler, and I am an intuitive healer and a soul coach, and I've been doing this what I call non-work for coming up to 20 years this August, which is like such a milestone for me. And the reason why I call it non-work is because I love what I do so much. I remember when I stumbled upon alternative and complementary medicine in university. I was originally going to university to become a physiotherapist, and then I thought maybe a doctor and a nurse and a massage therapist, and then I scrapped all that because I realized there was this whole other world of healing that I wanted to be a part of. And I remember saying, if I find a school that can teach me how to be a holistic healer, an energy healer, aromatherapist, reflexologist, all that stuff under the sun, I will be the happiest kid for the rest of my life. And I can honestly say it was the best decision stepping into that as a sole purpose, because I have been able, like I said, for 20 years, work with clients, help them clear out all the ick and the stick, that stuff that doesn't serve us rapidly, not something that's going to take 5 to 10 years or even 2 years. We like moving you guys quickly, and be able to access the higher self, connect to that higher version of who we all are, and not just connect to it, but really embody it, and then allow that to flow through so that you can create this beautiful, awesome, abundant, flowing life that feels so good. And I can now say that I've worked with 15,000 clients one-on-one, which is amazing to be able to say that, and spoken on many stages as well around the world. Gabriel and I, we actually shared the stage in India, speaking to over 20 million people about meditation.
26 million.
It was incredible. And so it is our divine purpose to share and to teach and to be of divine service. So we are so excited to be here with you and to share all the high vibe goodness. The reason why we call it Thrive in 5, for those of you, if this is your first, maybe let us know in the comments. Actually, I want to know, who is this a repeat? You know, are you guys, are you like a seasoned Thrive in 5er, right? Meaning you've taken a number of our Thrive in 5 workshops, or is this your first Thrive in 5 workshop? I'd love to know, because how Thrive in 5 came about actually was Gabriel and I, the twins were what, not even a year.
Yeah, less than a year.
And we had just moved our businesses online, and we said, oh boy, like we really need to like sharpen up our practice here, because we love practicing, we love meditating, but we realized that we didn't have the same available time as when we were, you know, even when it was just Aria, right? Like we had a lot more available time, and we could tag team a lot easier. And then the twins came, we were like what just happened, right?
Zero sleep.
Oh, God, 2 hours a night. I'd be like waking up every 20 minutes. I feel like for the first year I walked around in a total like days, right? So that's where we created these Thrive in 5 practices, because we realized we wanted to still be spiritually connected and keep thriving. We needed to shorten the practices though.
Definitely.
And so that's what you're going to get in Thrive in 5 this week, this experience with us. The practices are 5 minutes. Okay. So we were like, no one can say to us, Tara, Gabriel, I don't have 5 minutes. I'll be like, yes, you do. If we can find 5 minutes, you can find 5 minutes,
certainly.
Right? And they're powerful.
Gone are the days of luxurious 3-hour meditations and all of those things, right?
A day, be in meditation for a day, right? You're like, no, now it's like 5 minutes, right? But they're just as powerful. And I think that's the thing, is that when you're intentional about what you're doing, it can be very powerful, very succinct, and you get the goods and you go, right? And so that's what the Thrive in 5 is really about, to help you thrive and help you expand. And especially this one, because we're doing intuition clarity. So this one is all about accessing your intuitive gifts, sharpening and refining those intuitive gifts, really being able to access from the higher self, which is the only place that I really like to use my intuition from, and have you guys have some miraculous outcomes this week, right? So let's see. Sometimes first timer. I love it. My second. This is our 13th one, by the way. Lucky 13. Yes, 5 minutes, right, Patty?
Patty's in the house.
Yes.
Hi,
Patty. Nice to see you. First Thrive in 5. We've got a lot of first Thrive seasoned. Welcome to the newcomers, right?
Somebody's a veteran.
It gets better with every experience. Exactly, Nefertiti. You guys are so right. So right. Seasoned, right?
Kimberly
so
second.
good.
Hi, Kimberly.
I love it. Awesome.
Beverly
Third
season.
one.
Hi, Beverly.
So good. Second one for Lorianne. Awesome.
Ritika,
you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. We're super excited too. And you'll see every Thrive in 5 experience is amazing and different. Some stuff, for those of you that have gone through Thrive in 5 with us, you'll notice that there will be some repeat, but we love that, because we've found, you know, Gabriel's been meditating since he was 3. I've been meditating since I was 14. And there are some practices that are tried, true, and tested. And they're the ones that you want to keep practicing. And that's what allows you to deepen your spirituality and allow you to really thrive. Not a cajillion practices, but having some really good ones that work, and then you stick with it, and having those repeats. And that's why we have a lot of people come back and do Thrive in 5 with us every single time, even if they're already, you know, paid clients within our other programs. They still come to the Thrive in 5s because there's so much value and there's such a boost. And we hope that that's what that's our intention. You're going to experience an intuitive, awesome, spiritual, energetic boost this week.
And it also depends on where you view it from, right? You know, one moment you might read a book, and then you come back a little while and you read that book again, and you're like, what? Was this even here when I read the first time? It's kind of like that, because you grew, right? Your consciousness shifts. So you know, it's good to go through a
Yeah.
few times, and you might pick up things that you didn't even knew were there. You didn't even know they were there before, right? So
Yeah,
just listen in.
100%.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
good. So grab your workbook. And if you
Yeah.
guys do have any questions as we go about, sometimes we speed through the content just depending on, because we both channel. The replays are available until next Monday, and then they all come down. Okay, so know that you can go back and rewatch, catch up. The girls, our team is here. Gina, Cassandra, and Alexandra are here. They are your ascension guides. So if you happen to miss a fill in the blank, just say, can someone help me out? And someone will type it in there, most likely one of the girls. If you just joined the group and you still don't have the workbook, make sure you reach out to Cassandra, Alexandra, or Gina. They'll make sure that you get that workbook emailed to you. And I think we're good to go. Two more announcements. Sorry. We are doing a giveaway. Okay. Gabriel's going to tell you about how that giveaway is going to work in a couple minutes.
Really? I'm kidding. okay.
We have a little debrief, little consult here. Just a little consult.
Go ahead. Fill in the blanks as we go.
Right? Yeah. We just roll with it.
Yeah.
So the second announcement is we always, with every Thrive in 5, we always do scholarship giveaways. Okay. So these scholarships are super, super valuable. The real-time value of them is over $8,000, and the other one is over $4,000. And that's being mild about, you know, the full value of it. Like if you break down all, it's more like $30,000, right?
Yes.
So we give away a full scholarship, and we give away a partial scholarship to something that's called Thrive 365, which is our other baby. It's a search incubator for self-mastery, life mastery, forgiveness, healing, intuition mastery, higher self, spiritual mastery, and abundance manifestation mastery. So it's this incredible year incubator. It's beautiful. It's amazing. We'll tell you more about it at the end of the week.
Yes.
But if you want to qualify, okay, and you guys know we have so much fun with these qualifiers and also giving away the scholarship. If you want to qualify, okay, it's slightly different. So those of you that have taken part in Thrive in 5s before, the qualifications have changed just a little bit. Almost everything's the same, but just one minor little change, okay? So the first thing is you have to be here live this week, okay? You got to attend live. Even if you're like, I got to jump off because the kids or whatever, just let us know, hey, I was here live, but I had to jump off, okay? So you have to be here live. That's the first qualification. The second one is when you are here live with us, you have to be engaging with us. So that means using the hearts and those like buttons, or if you want to use the sad face, because you feel sad, you can use the sad face. No sad face. But we like the thumbs up and we like the hearts, okay? The reason why is because when we finish the video, we always go back and we get to see who was there live, and then we put you in an Excel spreadsheet to keep track of who all the qualifiers are. And if you don't heart it,
it's much easier to see you when you use an emoticon.
Yeah, if you don't heart it, you don't like it, then we can't find you. Yeah. And so that's the first two. The third one is at the end of every session, we post a little recap thread that says Thrive in 5 recap thread. Okay. And it has like, this colorful, and there's always a little like squiggly thing. And it says the Thrive in 5 practice. We want to know what your experience was or is of the Thrive in 5 practice in each day. So what you do is you just go onto that thread and you type in the comments and you let us know. And those of you that are on Zoom, just email myself, okay? Because I've been in touch with you guys, because we do have a lot of people who are joining by Zoom who don't have social media, who do not have Facebook, right? And they wanted to take part. So we did a special thing. That's why we're streaming in both places right now, right?
Yeah.
So for those of you that are on Zoom and not on social media, just email us, okay? If you want to qualify for the scholarship, okay? The fourth and final piece, in the next 2 days, so today or tomorrow, Monday or Tuesday, okay? You have to post on your own social media. And if you're not on social media, I'll tell you what to do in a second. Post on your own social media, not in the group page. Share something that you loved about the Thrive in 5, anything. And then you have to use, there's 2 hashtags. You have to use a hashtag Light Ascension Collective, okay? If one of the girls can hashtag that, type that in there for me, that would be really great.
Awesome.
Hashtag Light Ascension Collective and Thrive in 5 using the number, Thrive in 5 using the number, okay? And for those of you that are off social media, if you could just share it with some friends and family, tell some peeps that are on social media and just say, hey, there's a really cool thing. If you want to come take part, that'd be awesome. Okay, so those are the 4 qualifications. I think we're ready to go. All right.
Yes.
So grab your notebook.
Grab your notebook and get ready. A little water would be good too, because we're streaming high today.
Yeah, very high. Yeah. Yes, those are the hashtags. Thank you so much, Gina. That's awesome. You want to tell them about how they're going to win the giveaway for today?
Okay, yes. Okay, so here's how you're gonna win today's word. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. And the giveaway, sorry, just to tell you quickly, the giveaway, Gabriel and I have never done this before, but the giveaway is going to be a session with Gabriel and I. He's going to do half the session, like 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'm going to do second half, 15 to 20 minutes. And it's going to be a numerology, like looking at your own numerology life path. And then I'm going to do an intuitive consult reading with you. Okay. We've never given any of these away before.
That's never happened.
That's never happened. This is brand new.
Double the awesomeness.
Yeah.
Right. It's going to be cool.
And this is how you're going to win.
Yes. So how you can win it is, and get ready, listen in for this one. During this talk that we're gonna have, right, while we're chatting, you might find your mind drifting away once in a while. Use it as a meditative practice. Type in the word focus, right? And you might want to type it in right now and copy it on your keyboard so you could just paste it if necessary, right? And use that focus every time you find your mind drifting to come back into the conversation. Right, so you find your mind drifting. We're talking, and it's just like, and you're like, hit focus and lock back in.
Yeah.
Right. What we'll do is we have a special way to calculate who's gonna win afterwards. Yeah. But you do have to be in there, right? With
people are typing focus. Trinette's on the focus. Tanya's on the focus.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so that's how you win that. Okay?
Yeah, Heather is on the focus, right? So use it as a practice, right? Like Gabriel said, because it's really powerful when you can do that, because it'll bring you right back.
Yep.
So today's topic, grab your notebook. Today's topic that relates to intuitive clarity is focus. And the reason why focus is so important when it comes to intuition is because without focus, you could be dialed into many streams of like intuition wise. You could be streamed into many things. Okay. So this is why day one, we start with focus, because without that, and here's the thing, and this isn't in your notes. So if you need to make a side note of this or use the back pages, we always use intuition because we're co-creating with you guys. Right. Yes. But intuition, okay. Intuition is a tool. It's a gift that you already have. Okay. Intuition is not something that someone's going to give you. Okay. It's not like we're going to give you intuition. We're going to help you refine it, help you open it, help you clarify it. But intuition is something that you already have. And it's not just reserved for the healers and the psychics of the world. Every being, I believe every plant, animal, everything
that is conscious, everything within
exactly has intuition.
Right. Okay? It is, if we break the word down, it's intuition, tuition within, right? Your own tuition, yourself, which is inside of you. So inner tuition, we could break it down to that, right? Yeah.
And so this is why we're going to focus.
Yes.
We're going to focus. You want to start?
Sure.
Yeah.
So focus, that's the headline, right? And when I do this, I'm just highlighting what the headlines are. So the
we go like
fill
this,
in the blanks are, right?
Yeah.
So that's my signal for fill in the blanks, right? So when you see that, you know I'm talking about the fill in the blanks.
And mine looks like this usually.
Tara does that. I do this, right?
Focus.
So focus is the ability to pay particular attention to something or to be with something intently. And it requires daily practice. Daily practice. You go ahead with the next section.
You go ahead.
All right,
I've been talking a lot.
All right. In our ever-evolving world, we are often distracted and demanded to multitask. And I know a few of you know that that's true, right? It's not like you just get everything working out to the point where you could just stay with this one thing and ignore the kids making the noise in the back and all that. You know, you have to tend to certain things, right? And obviously that's not in the script. But back to what we're speaking about. The mind has been allowed to run wild in several, often conflicting directions. So I'll repeat that just for simplicity, right? The mind has been allowed to run wild in several, often conflicting directions. So you could put that often conflicting in brackets if you'd like to. Yeah. All right. And I'll read the whole paragraph now again so you can hear it one more time, because I know you didn't hear all that, right? Most likely.
Focus.
Focus. Yes. In our ever-evolving world, we are often distracted and demanded to multitask. The mind has been allowed to run wild in several, often conflicting directions simultaneously, right? So at the same time, you're drawn in several directions and it feels like you have to split your attention, right? we're going to teach you how to be able to do that
To
successfully.
bring it in.
Right?
Bring it in.
And reel it in when you need to.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then the next one is, how does this affect intuition and your higher self?
Yeah.
Because again, you all have access to your higher self. Higher self is not something that just a few people have. You have higher self.
Yes.
We're going to help you tune into that this week. So the next fill in the blank is distraction. Okay. Distraction. So when people are like scattered everywhere, right? Plus conflicting thoughts. And this happens all the time. Conflicting thoughts come from everywhere. I'll give you an example in a second. Equals confusion. Anybody ever feel confused? And then it points to lack of clarity and trust. So lack of clarity and trust. And we hear this a lot from people. A lot of times they'll be like, I can't hear my intuitive voice. I can't hear my intuitive thoughts. My gut's all over the place. I'm getting these random messages. I don't know which one to trust. I don't know what to listen to. I don't know which direction to go in. I'm feeling confused. I want to get clarity. I want to get direction. And when you start to talk to the person, you realize their mind, and when you actually, and when I've seen this energetically, when I look at somebody, whether it's on the phone or in person, their mind looks like a big frenetic, like it literally looks like many energies going like this all around their head. Everywhere. And then I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like tracing it, and I'm like trying to trace the patterns, and I'm like, woo, because sometimes that happens. If we're not practicing focus, our mind will be let run wild. It's like a garden, right? That all the other plants will just come in and be like, whoa, let's go wild, right? That's what happens. So if we are not focusing, the mind will, it is meant to run. It is meant to multitask. It is designed to do so. But when it comes to you refining your intuition and getting clear guidance and messages, we have to learn how to focus.
We do.
We really do. Or else we don't know what we're getting. We're getting several messages and we're like,
is this my intuition or is this my ego?
Right?
I don't know. Whoa.
My gut and my head seem to be in conflict. I'm getting one message here, but my gut's saying something else. Or my gut's telling me yes, and my head's saying no. And then I'm hearing from other people, and then I don't know what to listen to. Right? That can happen. Right? So I have a question for you. And this is kind of additional homework, soul work for you guys. Do you find it easy to make a decision when the mind is receiving differing information? So do you find it easy? Do you find it easy to make a decision when the mind is getting different information? Right? And that differing information, and let us know in the comments, that differing information could be someone is maybe telling you what you should do. Maybe it's family, maybe it's outside, maybe it's the world, maybe it's society. Or then all of a sudden you're tuning in, you're like, I'm getting something, but I'm not quite trusting it. Maybe I should call a friend. So you call a friend and you tell your friend, and your friend's like, yeah, I think you should do this. And you're like, really? I don't know. Okay, well, yeah, that makes sense. Right. And then there's all these varying, people on Zoom are like, yes, sometimes, right? Exactly. That's exactly it. And so that's what it is. Sometimes there's so many different options. You've got options. That's the cool thing about life, right? You've got options, but sometimes we have so many options that it's actually pulling us in multiple directions. And then the other thing that happens too, you're like, okay, I think I got it, but my friend told me this, but then society's telling me this. You know what? I'm going to consult the cards. I'm going to grab my cards. I'm going to do my cards. And then the cards tell you something totally different. Sometimes it'll end up in something totally different. And you're like, oh God, like, where do I even go? Right? Yes, right? Exactly. That's exactly it. Not easy. Somebody's saying not easy. Yeah, definitely not. Right? No, right? That's a great word.
Marta.
Look at Christine.
Influenceable.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love it.
No, not easy at all, right? Some days are easier than others. Exactly. And sometimes that is the case. Sometimes your intuition is totally on, and other times it feels completely off, and sometimes it's in between. So our intention this week again is to help you guys refine, so that when you are tuning in for guidance and getting guidance, you're able to really dial in and focus, right? And know. So most end up, and this is most people, I'm not going to say all, but most people, here's the next fill in the blank, end up swirling between decision and indecision, right? You're like, I think I know, I don't know. I think I got the goods. No, I don't know. Right? And we go back and forth, and we start to flip-flop, and we waste more time and energy doing that. When you have that scattered mind, you're wasting time, you're wasting energy, and then you feel exhausted, and people are like, I'm so exhausted, I don't even know what to do. Right? I feel totally disconnected. And you're like, okay, pause. Like, just pause on making any decision for right now. Let's help you get clear. Let's help you get focused, and then we'll get the goods, and it'll come in a way that feels really easy to you, right? Yeah,
they actually say, they did this with ice creams this one time, a scientific experiment. If you give a person 2 ice creams and you tell them choose, it's okay. They end up happy either way with which one they choose, but you give them a whole store of ice creams with like all these different flavors. the result is they actually get frustrated trying to make that
You
decision.
see those people with ice cream cone. That used to be me.
No, I don't want ice cream
20
anymore.
minutes later, you're like, well, and you're like, I'll sample this one, and I'll sample this one, and really, and then you always go back to the good olds, right? I'm like, and I'll have strawberry.
Old sturdy, old faithful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. So that's
so
something.
You know, right? You do know. We're gonna give you some fun practices this week too that are gonna really help you.
Yeah.
But you want us to do the
next
The keys?
The keys to having clear intuition, that's clairvoyance, clairsentience, or clairaudience, are, and you see these little dots right there, right? Connect to your higher self.
And we're going to do that tomorrow and today.
Yes. Connection to your higher self, right? The next one, focus of mind. Okay, so this could also be called mental focus, right? But focus of mind. Yeah. Knowing your mind.
You got to know your mind.
Right? Because your mind is a unique thing that you're dealing with in your experience, and you've run through all the processes of its decision making, and you're the one who sees it, right?
Yeah.
So you have to know your mind.
And within your mind, here's just a side note, and this isn't in your notes, so if you want to take some extra notes about this, your mind is so vast and it's so expansive, it's capable of having multiple things going on in one go. Okay. And because we're connected to the collective, there's also the collective energy communicating using our mind.
Yes.
And so if you don't know your own mind and you don't know the sound of your own thoughts and you can't differentiate that, then all of a sudden the collective thoughts and the collective mind might seem like your mind.
Yep. And they'll influence you.
Right. If you're in close proximity with people, family, friends, partner, kids, you're picking up on stuff all the time.
Yep. And it's what for Freud and them we refer to that as the superego, right? That's the societal agreement that's going on. And, you know, certain people agree on certain principles and stuff. And when you come in forward with your own mind and you're interacting with those fields, some of those thoughts could feel like they're bigger than yours. They can feel that way.
And then it gets even more confusing.
Yeah. So it could be a bit difficult sometimes, right? But once you know your mind, then you also know what's not your mind, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you have to learn that. Okay. So differentiating your tracks, right? So your flows of thought, your tracks, the things that you do naturally. Like, you know, you have teens who act in a certain way and it's like, you could tell that they're all kinesthetic about what they're going through. Like you could see them feeling into what they're feeling and they have in the fields and learning themselves in that way. That's something that you want to learn too. You want to learn your patterns of behavior and all these things so that when it comes up, it's not like a surprise. Like, where did that come? It didn't come from left field. No, you know how you function. So all this is about knowing yourself, as you see, right? Clearly hearing your mind or thoughts. Being able to get the clear reading on what's really coming from you, right? And choosing the track that feels the most aligned, right? So the one that you know leaves you feeling the most at peace all the way through, that's a track you want to choose. And we're going to do that.
And what we mean by tracks are just the different thought forms, right? Because we all have different thought forms. There's the collective, like we said, there's societal, there's people around you, there's your ego, there's your higher self, there's your average mundane self. So it's really being able to differentiate those different thought pieces and formations, right? So today we're going to help you guys again sharpen your focus, sharpen your mind, right? So that you can be able to access your intuition and that intuitive mind with much more ease. That's what we're going to do today. Because as you can see, there's a lot to intuition, but I find that when you really start to focus in and you know your own mind, you can really start to get more present. So I have a question for you guys. How many of you feel present, focused, and tuned in right now? In this moment, right now? And you can be honest, if you have distraction going on, if you have other things, I do. Okay, great. Awesome. Let us know in the comments, because if you are feeling super dialed in, awesome. If not, that's okay too. If you're feeling distracted, you've got other things, just notice that. I always find that honesty with myself is like the biggest key to transformation, because then I can be like, you know what? I am feeling a little bit distracted. I got the kids going on over here. I got this happening over here. I have da-da-da, whatever. You know, like you guys see us go live a lot. And sometimes I have the kids, the babies with me, and they're breastfeeding and stuff. And I've learned to focus and still be present and channel while breastfeeding and tending to them, right? Occasionally I get a little unfocused and I can tell because the stream gets kind of like it gets a little interrupted, right? Yes, me.
You know, that honesty that she's talking about is key. It's key because all through everything that I just said, let's say you were doing all that, but you were lying to yourself about your results. You're like, yeah, I was totally tuned in, man. I was there all the way, right? And then something comes up and I'm like, I don't know. I think I missed that part.
It's like the people that are on their phone like this, and you're like, I'm listening to you.
Yeah, I'm listening.
And you're like, I'm listening to you. And then you're like, what'd I just say? Something about
vanilla.
You're like, not at all. Not at all. I was talking about the trees, right? You're like, no.
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? You want to be honest with yourself, because the only way that the change can be made is if you're able to watch what's there as it is, and then if you decide to change it, change it. Right?
Awesome. You guys are doing great. Some of you are feeling a little distracted, but that's okay. You got to go back and rewatch, and that's perfect, because it'll give you an opportunity to catch it again. That's what I always found. Like whenever I've attended workshops and trainings and stuff like that, especially online or business coach and listening to her, sometimes I got to go back and listen to that stuff a number of times if I do have distractions going on, and that's okay. It's about knowing where you're at and then knowing what you need to do, especially if you want to get results and if you want success and you want, transformation to happen. Sometimes it's like just pausing and knowing yourself. And a lot of you are focused, which is amazing too.
Beautiful. Lots of focus there.
So good. Yes. Somebody said, I've been amazed by your ability to focus during some of the, me too. But it comes to channeling. I got to tell you, being able to connect to my higher self and become like, I've always been a channel. I've really learned to refine that. I feel like at times I'm just a mouthpiece. Like I know I'm more than that. Obviously I'm more than that, but no, I really do. I feel like spirit just utilizes, because I've said that too. I've allowed for that relationship. And so a lot of times it's just like, and I'm streaming and I'm just tending to the physical stuff that's here. That's how we can use that multitasking ability. And again, this isn't in your notes, but this is really powerful conversation, because there are times where you are needed to multitask, right? So you do have many things, especially for those of you that have kids, or if you have other things going on, that your attention does need to be in multiple places. So this is where you can allow the body. It's kind of like, you ever been in a car, driving a car, and you've driven that same path, and all of a sudden you're like, where did the last hour go? And you have no logical explanation or no rational,
no recollection of how you got
that's the word. But you just did it anyways, right? Because there's a part of your being, your body, the body mechanisms that do run on automatic pilot. And if you can trust that, and if you practice becoming a really clear channel with your higher self, it streams through. And so it can stream through, and let's say do this, right? Channel in this way, and I can be present with the kids, and everybody feels happy then, right?
Yes.
So next page. As a society, we have been trained to focus on, now think about this for a second, because this really is true, unless you've had it like maybe the monk on the mountaintop experience, right? But most people have been trained to focus on chaos, pain, drama, and the wrongs of the world. I call them wrongs in quotation, because I don't think anything's really wrong, but we really have. We've been trained by the news, by society, by our country, by our families, by schooling.
Just take a look at most of our TV programming and stuff like that, right? It's not all roses and daisies everywhere. It's all about a challenge, facing a challenge, all these crazy things happening, right? And that's what most of the population is interested in seeing as well, right? So that says something. And so I have another question for you. So have you been able to, like, just feel into this for a second, have you been able to find clarity or access your higher self, connect to that clarity when everything around you is moving or changing or chaotic? Just let us know, yes or no. Because a lot of people right now are finding that with all the worldly changes and all the stuff that's going on, it has been a little bit more shaky and rocky than normal. And so a lot of people are coming to us and they're like, whoa, with all the chaos that's going on in the world, I haven't been able to find left or right or up or down or center. And I don't even know what's going on half the time. Right? Right, exactly. No, a lot of people, and that's the case. To be able to find your center and connect to your higher self when so much is changing, there's a lot of chaos and there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, it is a little bit more challenging. So we'll acknowledge that, and then we're going to move through that, right? We're going to move through that right now, right? Yeah, exactly. So it's time to change all that, right? So when you start to flip the focus, right? And we're going to flip the focus, starting to flip the focus right now. You start to refocus your energy inward. So that's the next fill in the blank, energy inward. So we start to refocus, just like you guys are doing right now. You're focusing and refocusing. You're starting to turn your energy inward now. Even though you can be aware, right? You're acknowledging, I'm aware that there's stuff going on. There might be distractions. I am aware of that. And I'm choosing to be right here. That's really powerful. Right? That's really, really powerful. You want to do the next one? Yes. We listen, right? So listen to and live with your higher self, right? And that with your higher self eventually turns to as your higher self, right? It
Exactly.
flows through you to the point where you and it are not two separate things, where you're trying to
Exactly.
reach this space. You are it. You live the life as your higher self, right? So listen to and live with your higher self. You can do the next one. I like the back and forth.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
Become intuitively empowered. So when you start to flip the focus, like what we're doing right now, you start to feel really empowered. So you're not denying, you're not saying, oh no, I'm totally focused, but really I'm not, right? You're not denying that. You're not pretending. You're going, you know what? I actually am very empowered, and I'm empowered enough to say, I am going through some distraction, or I am feeling a little bit of the world's chaos, and I am feeling what's going on in the world. And I choose. I choose to be right here, right now. I choose to be focused. I choose to do these practices. I choose to show up this week, and I'm going to show up powerfully to the best of my ability. When you start to play from that space, that is one of the most powerful and empowering things that you can do for yourself. And all of a sudden, your intuition, you'll find the more that you choose, and you start to choose consciously where you want to be and where your attention wants to be, love, right? Where you want to be, all of a sudden your intuition naturally can take a breath, and it can expand with you. Right? Want to do the next one?
And powerfully create a world that feels amazing to you. So naturally, as you stand in that vibration, as you focus on where you would like to go, as Tara says, you find that the world that you create is reflective of that. It's creative or reflective of that state that you have inside. So you start to feel amazing. You start to look outside and find that the leaves are shimmering a bit more, or the sunshine is that much more beautiful. The breeze is blowing nicer for some reason on that day. People are friendlier on that day. What's going on? It's not the world that changed. It's your perspective, right? And that's you changing your mind about the world.
And your focus.
Beautiful.
And so that was the last point. So we missed one, which we're going to do together. This right here. So we're going to focus. So this is point number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. You're going to focus your
mind power.
Mind power, because you all have mind power. It is a superpower. It's a superpower, right? You have your mind power.
Yes, your
you
mind
really,
power.
really do. You have super powerful gift right there. You have your mind power in the direction that you want it to go. So when you start choosing, like we were just talking about, when you start consciously choosing where you want to take the mind and where you want it to go, you're using that mind power to create the world that you want. That's awesome. Like that is worth everything to me, right? So the next paragraph, focus and intuition. So here's how they all come together and relate. So focus and intuition. When you start to focus, your intuition naturally allows you to see, know, and pay attention to the thoughts that serve you and the thoughts that don't. Right? So when you're focused, again, when you're dialed in, you start to see and you start to feel, you start to know, you start to pay attention to, oh yeah, that thought is not so loving. Okay, great. I know that that's not of my higher self making. That might be coming from someplace else.
Lovely.
Right? Or you listen to, maybe you did call your friend and you're like, this is what's going on. This is what I think I should do. What do you think I should do? And they're like, they start to, and as you're listening to what they're telling you should do, you're like, all right, in your gut, you're like, that doesn't feel good. And that's a really good discernment where you can be like, thank you so much for sharing that. And whether you say, I'm going to choose this anyways or not, you're like, thank you so much, click. And then you're like, I know exactly what I need to do. Because you start discerning, you start to see if you're focused, because, you start to feel it. You start to see what is in the direction that's going to serve you and what's not.
Yes. And we have beautiful tools for that as well. So focus and intuition clears the interference and creates space in the mind, allowing the higher mind and higher mind clarity to flow in, right? So when you are in that space of connection, when the interference is gone, when the space is there, naturally what's left is the flow of that energy, that flow of spirit, that flow of, whether you call it love or light, or that's there, and that's going to flow as your interaction, as your experience, as your life, right? And that's what you interact from. So naturally, just by clearing the stuff, the clarity flows in. It's natural.
The next one is it allows you to hear more clearly, right? So that's your clairaudience. And clairaudience has 2 parts, by the way. I always go by the 3 clairs. I know that a lot of people talk about claircognizant, but claircognizant is just internal clairaudience. Years ago, like 30 some years ago, maybe even more, 30 some years ago, when I learned about intuition and I was teaching myself how to meditate, the ancients and the mystery teachings always went back to these 3 clairs. And they were the original 3. The clairs are clairvoyance, internal, external; clairaudience, internal, external; and clairsentience, which is your ability to feel. So clairaudience is hearing, whether you hear spirit talking to you outside of you, which is really freaky, by the way, when it happens. Like sometimes, even Arya, our kids have all of them intact, but she can hear.
Demonstrated that one very clearly.
Oh yeah, and she's like
Gabriel,
you go ahead.
Be walking with earphones on,
yeah,
right, listening to something that like somebody called me, right, and I'll be carrying on a quick conversation, and she will actually not being able to hear from the earphones, because these are those earphones that stick in your ear that only you could hear. She would answer the question that's going on in the conversation, meaning that she's hearing it somehow without actually hearing it. Right. So that was like one of those shockers. Be like, what? You can do that?
And the internal clairaudience has to do with your thoughts.
Yes.
So that's that claircognizant that people talk about. It's really being able to hear those intuitive thoughts. They're drop downs. That's what I call them. There's these really powerful drop downs. So you're able to hear more clearly when you are able to focus. You want to do the lesson?
Yeah, I'm just going to do the repeat, because I see some people asking for the repeat of that part. Clears the interference and creates space in the mind.
That's the second point.
Right, that was the second one. So, because I saw you guys asking for it. So the last one, all right?
Yep.
Is that where we are? Okay.
Last point, yeah.
Yes. Allows your third eye to open, and the internal prism of light refines. Right? So people talk about calcified pineal glands and all of that other stuff. It's actually quite active within you, and will show you that it is in time. But the third eye being open is you being able to have a clear vision of whatever it is you're undertaking. The prism of light is activated, and you will be able to see exactly what it is, get clearer messages. And as Tara was speaking about clairsentience, I believe.
Clairaudience.
Yes, but clairaudience you were speaking about, But
and you do have
that's not third eye.
Oh no, third eye. Oh no. Oh, sorry.
Clairvoyance. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, so clairvoyance.
Yeah.
So you will be able to see more clearly based on that occurring as well, right? Yeah.
I had to focus there for a second, because I was thinking about the prism of light. So as soon as somebody mentions like anything having to do with light, I'm like, I see all the light frequencies, right? And so you actually do, like here at your third eye, you actually have this prism of light, and it actually looks like a triangle. So from your third eye to each eye, there's actually a triangle of light. And so one of the things that we actually do in a lot of our trainings is we help people refine that prism so that you can see more clearly, and it refracts light more clearly, which is really, really powerful. But a quick story that I want to share with you guys. We were able to, because our intuition is so strong, and I've been really dialed in from the time I was a kid. Like I saw fairies and angels and spirits and ghosts and auras and energy, and just knowing stuff that I really logically shouldn't know, right? And I found that having that really clear intuition has gotten us out of some interesting sticky situations. Like, for example, we left Barrie. So two years ago, I guess it would have been, sometime after the twins were born, maybe close to a year after they were born, we were living in Barrie, Ontario. And I started to get this feeling. I was like, I feel like we came to Barrie to have babies, and now it's time to go. And I kept getting this urge every day. I'd wake up and like, we got to go. We got to go. We got to get out of here. It just wasn't fitting anymore. Have you ever had those times where life just doesn't fit anymore? You're like, God, get me out of this situation.
Change is coming.
Yeah. And so I was intuitively asking, I said, okay, Spirit, show me then. Show me. Where are we going? What are we doing? And they said, we'll let you know when the time's right. And I was like, okay, great. So then October, all of a sudden they said, we want you to let go of the house, put your stuff in storage. You're going to move down to Mexico. And all of a sudden we're like, what? Okay. We had lived in Mexico before. So for us, we were like, yay. And then we were like, oh my God, we've never done this with 3 little kids before. Right? And so like, where in Mexico? It's a big place. We lived in Puerto Vallarta before, or Playa del Carmen. And where we ended up going was Puerto Vallarta. And so this was December. We let everything go November, December 2019. And so we put everything in storage. We went down to Mexico. We were there for the winter. And this is right before all this crazy worldly stuff happened, right? And all of a sudden, everybody's like, what are you guys going to, and we didn't know anything was happening yet in the world. Nobody really did. It was February. But people are starting to ask us, they're like, what are you going to do? Like, are you coming back to Canada? Are you staying in Mexico? Like, what are you doing? And intuitively, I'm like, let me just check in. Like, let me tune in. And so I tuned in my higher self and I said, okay, what would you have us do? And they said, we want you to go back, because we had a retreat we were running as well, the beginning of March. They said, you're going to go back, you're going to run your retreat, and then you're going to stay in Canada for a little bit. And we're like, okay. And they said, we'll let you know the next step. So fast forward, we came back, we ran the retreat. This is when all this worldly stuff was starting to go down. And we were like, God, like what is happening now? And so then I said, okay, Spirit, where are we going? And they said, look for an Airbnb in Northern Ontario. I was like, Northern Ontario is huge, right? They said between here and here. And we found the place that we're at now, which is where we've like grounded. And I am so grateful that that intuitive voice was so loud and so dialed in and so clear, because not for a moment did I question or doubt what we needed to do. And the steps were so clear. Like it was do this, do this, do this, do this. And it really helped. Like it helped us be able to shift and move on a dime. And like I said, not go through any wavering or doubt. And that's what I really like. That's my intention for you guys, is to start to feel that and know that and be able to make that decisive, make those decisions from a very clear place.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and also to increase your flexibility
Yeah.
around those things, right?
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot of trust and just open-mindedness to be able to step into that as well, right?
Yeah.
And that's why some people don't trust their intuition also, right?
Exactly.
Because it could be scary sometimes, eh? Yeah.
And so the last paragraph there is, what if you were able to use your mind or mental power? So what if you were able to use your mind or mental power and focus it, really be able to focus it and dial into a higher direction?
Yeah.
What would that be for you? Like what would that look like? Would it be peace? Would it be joy? Would it be abundance? Would it be love? Would it be health? What positive direction, if you could choose right now, and this might change tomorrow or in a week or in a month, but right now in this moment, if you could choose to focus your mind power and really dial in and use this as a practice to flip your focus from whatever distractions and whatever chaos and whatever stuff's going on in the world or in your world or wherever, to dial it in right here, right now, and use your mind power, your mental power, where would you focus it? What direction would you want to go? And let us know in the comments.
Yeah, looking out for
that. Let us know in the comments. Where would you want it to go? You want it to go to love, abundance, health, joy, peace, freedom. Where would you want it to go? People are focusing still.
Good, they're focused.
Confidence, confidence, love. People are still focusing. It's
Beautiful.
good.
I love that you focus.
Good. Certainty. That's amazing. Peace. That's awesome. Health. We're just reading the comments as they come in here. Abundance.
Beautiful.
Freedom. Yeah. So good. Right. It's so powerful. Like when you can take that mental power and start to direct it and say, I choose, right? You're powerfully choosing the direction that you want to go right now. And that's a focus, right? Self, bring it back to self-commitment, right? 100%. So this is where the higher self, this is the next fill in the blank. This is where your higher self connection comes in. Okay, so your higher self connection comes in. If you could keep your focus connected to your higher self, right? That's the next fill in the blank. What if you could, right? If you could keep your connection or your focus connected to the higher self, what would that look like? So knowing what you want. So you just consciously said, this is what I choose. This is what I'd like to, this is where I'd like my mind and my mental power to go. Now think about your higher self. Okay, so the higher self version of you is the most expanded, beautiful, awesome, loving, joy-filled, fantastic version of you that holds the high watch all the time.
Free.
If you could hold your focus there, if you could keep a connection to your higher self, what would that look like? What would life look like? What would that feel like? What would your life feel like? Right? And you can use the space to type that. You can use or write that. You could type it in the comments and let us know. I would feel like life is positive, peaceful, energy. Yeah, powerful.
Yep.
Eliminating the negative, loving this, right? So good. Let's see. Confidence, positive, loving, understanding, abundance. Awesome.
Yes.
Trust. Amazing. Choose joy every day. So good. Amazing. Freedom.
Beautiful.
Right? It's so beautiful. And so for us, there's a thing there where you can write this in, right? Life would be, and then you fill in the blank. Life would be what, right? Happy, inspired, joy-filled, abundance. I would feel awesome. I would feel awesome every day. So you might have a phrase and you might have a paragraph and you can expand upon it as much as you want. I really like when we can do that and then zero in and go, this is the word that I'm choosing. This is the word. And it might align. It might actually align with your mind power. You choosing and your higher self are saying the exact same thing, which is such a sweet spot to be. It's a really beautiful sweet spot.
Fulfilled, blissful,
right?
Beautiful.
So good. So we're going to do the Thrive in 5 practice.
Yes. Good thing you're doing it today, right?
No, you're doing it. You're doing it.
Okay, so this is going to take 5 minutes, okay? We're going fast. So right where you are, as long as you're not driving or doing anything that requires your full attention, just allow yourself to relax. Breathe naturally. Relax the toes, bases of the feet, the shins and calves, knees, legs, glutes and butt, or pelvis, lower back. Open the stomach up a bit, relax. Breathe into the diaphragm. Relax the chest and the upper back, the arms, wrists, palms of the hands, fingertips. Relax the collarbones and the neck, the facial mask, the head. Relax the scalp, and with a command to the entire body, relax. Now bring the attention to the eyes and open them. Look on something that is before you, something in front of you. It could be big or small, it doesn't matter. But look on it and put your attention towards it. Start looking at it. Become more relaxed as you look at it. Relax the vision as well. Soften the gaze. You may begin to feel slight pulsing or movement. You may see slight shifts in color. You may even see changes in the shape, changes in whether it's translucent or transparent that might occur. But don't worry about any of that. Just allow it to happen and allow your focus to continue to go there. Just continue to soften the gaze. Keep looking. And focus more attention there. It's as if your energy is going towards this object and towards this space. Feel the space. Feel the object before you. Now become aware of how the body feels as well. See if you're becoming more relaxed. What's the quality of the breath? You may start to see more changes happening. Continue to focus and relax. Realize that it's possible to focus and relax simultaneously. Now, all the changes happening, you're seeing things happening, you may be seeing waves, you may be seeing colors changing, you may be seeing transformation. Just allow it and continue to focus and relax. If the mind wants to pull you away, just let it go. Just stay there, stay there. Lock in, see the change, see the transformation. Feel it, feel the internal changes. You can blink your eyes, don't stop blinking, but just stay locked in. You're perfectly safe. Just continue to feel. Become aware of any internal changes, become aware of any changes in the object that you're looking at. And relax. You might start to feel tingling in the fingers and the toes through the body, energetic vibrations as well, just like the object. Just continue to stay focused and allow it to happen. Just breathe, breathe and relax. Now gently start bringing your awareness back to the body, keeping that good feeling, recognizing that you have the ability to stay focused and to be with one thing fully. And when you're good and ready, start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. And you can keep that nice soft feeling within you all the way through. It's there and you can keep it while you do everything else. Thank you.
So good.
Hey.
So beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was lovely. You know what I noticed, and I'd love to hear your feedback. So you can type it in the comments. And if you are wanting to go for the scholarship and the qualifications, even if you don't feel to and you want to just post over there, as soon as we wrap up this video in a few minutes, we're going to do a Thrive in 5 recap thread. And in that recap thread, you'll see it's nice and colorful. It'll have a little recap of some words. It'll have the Thrive in 5 practice with a squiggly arrow at the bottom. In the comments there, we would love to have your comments of your experience, whatever your experience was of this Thrive in 5 practice.
Yeah.
Please feel free to use that. Type in those comments. And I haven't posted the thread as yet, but it will. We'll type it as soon as we wrap the video, and let us know. Let us know what your experience of that Thrive in 5 practice was, because every time we do it, I find there's something cool that happens. Like I've done this practice so many times. And tonight what really came in, and probably because we initiated the conversation, the higher self, which is what we're going to carry into tomorrow. Okay, so we're really going to go deeper into the higher self conversation and connection tomorrow. But we wanted to start tonight with focus to have you start to dial in. So my recommendation would be, tonight and into tomorrow, use whatever, like we did a couple practices today, but I would use some of the practices that we dialed into tonight. Use the focus, right? Typing focus. Whenever you want your mind to come back in and use your mind power, just be like, focus. Just use it as a practice. Just think it. Focus. And
that one that we just did, I mean, it's 5 minutes. You can do that anywhere. You can do that, well, not in conversation with people, but while you're in a room with others. You could be there doing it and nobody even knows you're doing it. Right?
Totally.
Right. And that's a way to just get back in alignment. It takes less than 5 minutes. It's that quick. So that's something you can do just about anywhere. Right.
And what I found happened for me in doing that tonight, which was really cool, because we initiated the higher self conversation, I actually automatically, it was like I could hear the distraction thoughts kind of coming up a little bit. And then all of a sudden they just went, they literally just fell away. And then I automatically felt the higher self very powerfully being like, and it just was like dropping down, like within that short time, it was dropping down insights and different things, like within that short time period. So that's the type of thing that can happen when you really lock in, when you really get focused, when you let the mind, when you start to choose where you want your thoughts to go, instead of let the mind run you and go in all these like varying, multiple, chaotic, changing directions that we talked about. When you really start to dial in using this Thrive in 5 practice, using the focus now experiment, right? Dialing in, choosing, right? Like, where would you go if you could use your mind power? If you and your higher self were one, where would that be? Where would you go? What would your focal point be? So there's lots of tools that you guys can play with today and into tomorrow. And I highly recommend, and this is for all week, with every Thrive in 5 practice, bring it into your daily. Okay, bring it in as often as you can, especially for those of you that really want to experience some intuitive clarity and expansion this week. I highly recommend that you use these Thrive in 5 practices this week. So focus on this one today and into tomorrow. And then tomorrow we're going to give you the next one and we're going to layer it.
But try this one on. Use it every opportunity you can. It's going to be beautiful.
Thank you so much for being here. We're so grateful. Can't wait to connect tomorrow. We will post the results of the Focus Now experiment and the winner of the session. And that's going to be with both Gabriel and I. That'll be very intuitively focused. Right. And so we'll post the results. We'll post the recap. If you have any questions, reach out to your Ascension Guide. Cassandra, Alexandra, and Gina, they're here to support you. Make sure that you guys have everything that you need. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful night or evening, day, wherever you are. Thank you so much.
I have a happy Father's Day equinox today,
and solstice. Oh my gosh.
The solstice, Have a wonderful time of that. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow as well.